soul's journey through Purgatory. When I died, my soul traveled alongside a river. It led me to the valley of the shadow of death. A creature flew up to the edge and frightened I got on. At the bottom, when I begged to go back, it tried to eat me. An angel appeared, and the monster screeched away. With the voice of reason, the spirit guided me on. There was a man playing a guitar and moaning sorrows. The dead laid waiting and bound as victims of death. A creature in the dark turned and stared as I entered, growling and breathing with boundless rage. Shaken, I moved on, and in the enveloping darkness, I looked over, and there was a woman sitting on a stone. She was sitting trembling with fear and abandonment. A peculiar object glowed nearby and stayed a creature. The vile beast laid waiting in the shadows, screeching and gnashing wildly. But at last, the light doth fade, and leaving her without hope. The angel's voice continued to warn me of all the dangers. I was struck with a fear as the light faded and went to black. A lover scared the beast and embraced her lifeless body. He was lamenting for betrayal. Off in the distance was a tree with hearts bleeding. Startled, I realized I needed something to help me see. In the far distance, I saw it glowing from some trees. An evil scratched the tree feverishly. He turned and looked. He saw me running across the desert. It appeared that the trees were bleeding and in pain. It sneered at me and dashed into the darkness of shadows. I quickly grabbed a flower from one of the branches, and it seemed that I finally had a sense of hope. So I went back to the road, and I could hear an endless buzzing. It was coming from a bushel of venomous bees. But thankfully, the light kept them away from me. I turned to go, and came across a lonely person. He was a withered man, repenting his sins. An angel suddenly swooped down and carried him. A vile creature with armor crawled by. The eyes of the beastie burned holes in the soul. A demon was following me and laughing maniacally. It moved with a quickness and purpose that was terrorizing. The ghoul was hastened by the glow of a flower. The next day, I saw a man being resurrected. A conjurer was chanting, and a soul came out of the ground. Suddenly, the ground opened up and swallowed them whole. In horror, I turned and then witnessed an abomination. Nearby bodies rot and boil in cesspools of disease, and I could smell the rancid bile and began to convulse. And by the shore, a man was cowering helplessly. At the pool was a creature feasting on rotting flesh. Far away, sinners were engaging in unspeakable acts. And I was shocked, and I wasn't prepared for what I was to see. For the unforsaken, diseased the wasteland, flies were everywhere. By the river of fire, a demon sieved singed flesh from bone. And when I made it to the river, I saw bodies gasping for relief. An evil minotaur waited to punish the innocent. Tormented, I moved as fast as possible away from the pain. I was frightened by all that I've seen, but a spirit lifts me. On the third day, the spirit said, "Go to the boatman." And on the way, I saw more scavengers ravaging the dead. I handed him the coin, and he said, "This way." We started off and floated along the dam. Downriver, we went as the boatman sang a simple song. The dead floated by, bellowing for life and death. The boat brought us onto the shore. I walked a road that was long and arduous, and everywhere skeletons littered the barren land. They were hunted by vicious predators. I took a path that led to an ominous cave. The entrance to the cave was the mouth of a skull. I saw piles of skeletons, and I pondered. I entered the cave armed only with my light and hope. While there, all my memories were brought to bear. I realized then that they committed death upon remembering. A large bird creature dragged one of them away. His lost souls whooped, face down, stranded. We set out again, on the boat this time, upriver. A woman sang alluringly as we floated by. Pulled by a chain, the boat settled across the river Styx. 2 souls approached me. They asked me of my name and purpose there. They told me of the sins and the pain that was suffered. I looked up at the man on the cross and I began to cry. Sadly, I was reminded of a loved one afraid of rain. I went across a bridge where people were bound in chains. I saw a huge maze of lost souls meandering here and there. And at the far end, bare-boned souls rolled rocks up mountains. Nearby, a demon was feasting on a carcass made waste. Suddenly, I couldn't take it anymore, so I ran back. The road was lined with dead or dying on crosses. I found myself running up a long and windy hill. Out of breath, I wept and stumbled at the foot of a cross. When out from the sky came an angel. The angel told me not to be afraid and carried me away. He took me to a tomb and silently pointed upwardly. He told me that it was my time to go.